So very carefully I tried to extract it from the glass enclosure, but while I did that, all the ants of course came rushing out, and as I put it down, all hell broke loose. Hello and welcome back to Ant Holleufer. Today we are taking a look at the Messor Barbarus colony, and last time we saw them they weren't doing that well since they have a little bit of a mold outbreak. Now, as you see in the video, I have watered the ants once again, and that's simply because out in the outworld one day just went completely crazy. I counted 5 to 8 workers just constantly walking around in the outworld. And as you see here on this little time lapse, you can just see how much action there is. I know that isn't really much action for ants, but for my little Messor Barbarus colony this is a lot of action. And it is actually the most action I've ever seen with the Messor Barbarus colony. So that's why I decided, I would like to water them a little bit because they seemed completely crazy. And here inside the nest you can also see the numbers of ants have dramatically dropped, it seems like. I feel like I've had a lot of ants dying, and I was starting to go a little bit crazy because I just saw all of these dead ant bodies, and out in the outworld I just saw ants everywhere. And then I saw this funny little clip here of an ant coming out of the nest, going a little bit up the glass and then just falling down. And then the other workers come up and also fall down, and I thought that was very funny, so I shared it on Instagram. But then somebody on Instagram told me that it could actually be very bad for them if they keep doing it, because then they might be sick. So my joy quickly came to an end. So with all of this mold and all of this chaos, I just kept stressing about it. So I bought a new dig fix nest, and I also bought a new outworld. And if you would like to see how I unboxed it, I actually did a little unboxing video a few days ago. Link in the top right corner. The setup now looked like this. We had a little outworld here and then some tubing coming up to the dig fix nest. And my plan was then to connect it to the nest on the block I had put next to it. So first I had to detach the outworld from the old setup and proceeded to move the outworld away. And now I just had the nest remaining. So I put my nest on where it's supposed to be in the future, but that didn't go as I planned, so I took it away at the end of this clip. But here you see the new nest and how much bigger the nest and the outworld is, and it's so big that it's on my whole shelf, so I can't really have any other colonies up here. But here was that little block I put where I decided I would put the ants, and the reason I put it there is so the tube wouldn't be that long up to their new dig fix nest. And this is now the whole setup. So the outworld goes into this tube, which turns around and comes up to my cameraman here, hello, and which then turns over into their old nest. And what's very nice about this new outworld is that, first of all, it's very clear to record through, so I'm definitely hoping that my video quality will up a lot, since it's so clear and so see-through, and it's also very easy to come inside and remove garbage and different things like that. And then I just needed to water in the new dig fix nest, and I also made this little hole while watering it, so the ants would have something to start off their nest with. And all in all, it looked like this now, where the ants' nest would be. So now the ants just had to go from their old nest up this little hill and then into their new nest, which I covered up with some red plastic. And as I covered the new nest up, I uncovered the old nest. So now it was just a question of time before the ants would start moving, and I did get a little recording of inside the nest where it just clicked for me. A few weeks ago when I last posted videos, there were eggs and there was larvae and there were everything inside this nest. There was so much life, but now it was just so empty. The only eggs I saw in the entire nest was this little bunch and then this one pupae, and all the larvae were just gone. I hadn't seen them out in the trash, I hadn't seen them anywhere. I don't know what have happened to them. So if you know what happened to all my eggs and larvae, please write in the comments. I have a suspicion that the ants might have eaten it or something, but I couldn't see them. I couldn't see the garbage from the old larvae and all that. So I don't know what happened to that. And taking a look from the outside of the nest, it was just so empty. There was no life, and I don't know, it just seems like it's going very badly for the Messor Barbarus colony. I decided I would give the ants a rest and put this project on hold for a few days to see how it would go. So instead of solving the problem, I used the same technique as I used last time when the Messor colony didn't want to move. I used heat on the new nest and water on the old nest because that worked on the old nest. And the only problem was, by doing this technique, I had worsened the mold very much, very quickly. I really didn't think through this, and all of this mold was now everywhere in this nest, so I tried to put down the nest carefully in the outwall because I knew they couldn't stay in here. Look at all this mold everywhere. And the colony started to go crazy. Of course, I had moved the entire nest upside down. It was very easy to me to see that I had to get this cork nest out of this glass enclosure because that was what kept all the mold in. So very carefully I tried to extract it from the glass enclosure, but while I did that, all the ants of course came rushing out, and as I put it down, all hell broke loose. The ants were everywhere, and on the left side you're seeing the queen escape, and I tried to put this a little bit further away. Not to crush the queen, but so I could put in a test tube with some tinfoil around, so hopefully that would rush into this instead of going all over the place. This is a very terrifying moment for me because right now I don't know where the queen is, and in the worst cases I have heard that the queen can actually get killed from stress, and not from stress from the queen, but by the workers pulling her on each side of her body and simply just breaking her. And the reason they're doing this is because the workers want to move her to a secure position, but they haven't agreed on what secure position. So all I could think of is, please survive, queen. This might be very stupid, but I just couldn't bear seeing all of this mold spread. It was everywhere. I'm gonna be honest, I really just fucked up. This was a whole mistake. I really just hadn't done my homework breeding on these ants and buying this nest because these two just didn't fit together. A very moist species connected with a very dry nest, yeah, it was bound to happen, this mold. While all of this chaos was happening, I just kept seeing the queen running around from one side to the other, and I just didn't know what to do. So I tried very quickly to get some tinfoil and put it around that tubing coming up to the nest, so if the queen or the workers saw that as a safe place, they would hopefully move in there. But instead I saw the queen running across the cork nest and running into one of her favorite chambers. This video is not pre-recorded or anything. At the moment I'm sitting here editing this video and I have no idea what's gonna happen to the queen. Luckily she found a little chamber inside of the old cork nest where she is lying together with her workers. But this still means that she is with the mold, and that's not very good to me. And every time there's a breeze or a wind coming through the room, all the ants go crazy because they have no cover. So if you want to see the part 2 of this video, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to see right when they come out. The only thing we can do now is just pray for the colony and pray for the queen. Until next time, have a great day. Bye!